Yeah, that was so cool.
You're glad you came. I see what you're about. You play the short game. You don't know no one out here, but I'll make you glad you came.
Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills.
Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host, Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. I finally went medical. Obvious. Used the referral code DISCIPLINED on Mendo. Signed up, set an appointment, got my medical card from this awesome person.
I have a podcast called Disciplined Stoners, so I'm very front-facing about my cannabis usage.
Inflammatory way.
Oh.
So it helps with memory, focus. The document itself will be ready by the end of the workday today.
Oh, wow.
Once it's ready, you can expect to be making orders from them within 24 hours or less of this phone call.
Wow.
They just
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners.
I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie,
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today,
are we not in our proper spots right now? Did we switch spots?
I'm on the left and you're on the right.
What? I didn't even realize that we did that.
Let's just switch it out. Let's just go wild.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in the driver's seat.
What is happening to this podcast?
It's evolving.
I know.
And you guys are a part of that.
Yeah. I know that you have some stuff that you want to talk about. Welcome everybody.
Big day for us.
Yeah. Well,
Big week.
let's start with our joint. Let's get a joint going. Everybody
Yeah.
get your joints, your bongs, your vapes, your drinks, your edibles, anything that in any which way that you're consuming. Let's spark those up together and have a little sesh.
This is one of those ones where it's like, well, son, sit down. We're going to have a chat.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those ones about life.
Yeah. I wonder if we watched the Bob Saget tribute last night, and he is such a
Comedy Store.
fatherly energy that I wonder if there's any influence there where we're like, we're going to sit you down and give you a little
It's less about
chat.
us to them. I'm never stunting on the audience. It's more so just what I need.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Got Palo Santo back in my life today.
Thank you for that. Smells so good. Clears
my
the
mom.
energy.
Yeah, it clears the quantum. I realize I haven't had Palo Santo in this space for a while.
Yeah,
And it affects it. It's like the quantum holds energy.
absolutely.
And like we were just sick. So where did you want to start off? Let's start with our joint. Let's vibe out. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy to have you here for another great episode of hanging out with your favorite disciplined stoners.
Yeah, I just want to start by talking about this joint. This is from Primo Cannabis in Quebec. It is their lava cake. It's the first time that I'm trying it. I don't know if Ellevan's tried it yet. And it broke up really lovely and it rolled really nice, which as someone who isn't, the most experienced roller, I really appreciate when that bud just has some stickiness to it so I can make its shape and just fucking lick and roll,
Mm-hmm. So, we've been sick with the stomach flu. Since we've seen you last, we've endured this norovirus.
Norovirus.
And I think I got it and gave it to Win and caught it back because I was like puking the whole week.
Yeah, I'm not a thrower-upper. I've never been since a baby.
Never.
So that makes sense to me that I didn't do that, but you were vomiting.
Yeah, because I just have that deal with my body. Like, go ahead. Like, get it out. Like, I camp out on the bathroom floor on days that I'm sick. And I'm just like, whenever you need to upchuck, go for it.
Yeah.
But
weird virus. It takes you from like
the stomach is such a...
You think you're okay,
important.
and then like something will happen, and you're really not okay. Although I'm feeling much better today.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah. Okay, but the emotional implication of not eating properly, of resting, of being inside and confined for a while, it'll drive you a little loopy. We've had some experiences today that caused me to be like, what is the outcome of this feeling? And how can I be responsible for my, like, it's always just me. It's always just you. Like, you know, like, it's always, you're the droplet of consciousness and your reality is up to you. So it's based on how we perceive things is what makes our reality. And you just got to ask yourself what you're focusing on. Like, even in the hardest moments, you're still in control of where you place your attention and the attitude that you have.
You know what was a fun time in our growth was when, for me anyways, in my growth was when I stopped saying anything. Like, I would start saying sentences and I would have to reroute mid-sentence because I realized like midway through that this is not something that I want to like manifest in my life, or even
it's not going to serve you.
Like, and manifestation is not like necessarily end product. Like, manifestation starts as emotion. So like, even if you're like, oh yeah, of course I don't want to manifest an illness, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not necessarily that end illness outcome that you're not manifesting. Like, talking about it just creates a lower vibration. So that's the first step of the manifestation. And if you don't want to lower your vibration, you have to cut that off as soon as you become aware of it and reroute. And that was a real fun time in my life because you almost have like an urgency or like almost like an Instagram addictee something. I really noticed those sensations inside my body where I was like, I want to tell this story. Like, I want to tell someone about the injustice I experienced on the subway or in the streetcar or the
whatever case you're building in your head against the thing that's showing you contrast. We walk around and we build cases, and when this person's not right for that reason. Oh, and I did this right and they did this wrong, or whatever it may be. It's an illusion of garbage. Let it go. Like, stop being such a victim.
Yeah. And I really found when I like literally shut my lips and just like, it required a lot more listening out of me for a period of time, because I just didn't have anything to say. Like, I didn't have anything to contribute that wasn't part of...
That was helpful.
That was, for me at that time, right? Like, what I was trying to create in my own life.
Calling yourself out for those moments is the core fundamental practice of being mindful with your emotions. And people profess all these negative things about themselves, and then they wonder how they're not attracting the experiences that they'd like. Like, that's insane to me. It's like, you didn't grow any bananas because you didn't fucking plant any banana trees.
I don't know.
What are you focusing on? Like, you're growing shit trees. So you grow shit and then you're going to be shocked? And this is where I call myself out. What are you focusing on? Do you want to manifest more of this, or do you want to get out of it? Slowly start raising your vibration.
I don't even know if some people...
This is nice.
Yeah, lava cake by Primu. It's
a little bit of a dry nip on the back of the throat. I'm not sure what's caused. Maybe a curing thing. It seems like a little bit of a technical thing, but the flower feels nice inside. The burn is steady. I like the soft smoke.
Tastes
cool.
good.
I just want to say that. It's nice. As you were saying, though.
I think I was trying to say something along the lines of like, I don't even know if some people are shocked that like what they're manifesting has manifested. I don't know if they're like, oh, like, why is this happening? I think.
So you think that it doesn't stop them from indulging in their lower vibrancy
I feel like
emotions?
if we had some real inquiry and curiosity as to why things are happening to you, you would over the course of time find that correlation between how you're behaving and what's showing up in your immediate surroundings.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, also, but nothing's happening to you. Everything's happening for you. We had a great conversation this morning that went all the way to innocence of big corporations trying to meet the bottom line or their agenda to weaken and make everyone sick. Like, we started our morning thinking in that level of such a zoomed out wide perspective to today getting into a little tiff ourselves
Yeah, we did.
and getting past it. Yeah, that's
Because we ended that conversation because we got a little bit heated, and then we ended that conversation on like a really good note, I felt.
Yeah. Oh, the earlier conversation, like
Yeah.
about all this stuff, and just because we think about things like, you know, I'm not throwing shots here, but just like sick kids hospital. What type of fucking affirmation is that? Like, you trying to keep them sick? Because that affirmation on the side of the building is certainly going to cause that. And then my conspiracy ass apparently is like, okay, yeah, so you can have jobs, you can keep them sick, and research, and the more
Yeah.
humans expand viruses to try and combat medicine for them, the quantum field picks up that energy. So same with that theory of solving the puzzle. When one person in the world solves the puzzle, like remotely, other people start solving it. So the answer is in the universe. It literally manifests and becomes part of the quantum if you know like relativity, or if you know like chance theory, like essentially once it's unlocked, it's unlocked. So if you're holding a vibration or a thought, or receiving a thought, or channeling a thought, or picking yeah, you're gonna create more of it in the universe.
Yeah. I actually really like the sick kids example, because why do we as human beings feel the need to like label everything? Like giving kids the label of sickness, like whether that's the intention or not, is what's going on.
You're a little sick kid now.
Yeah, like why isn't it called Get Well Hospital?
Yeah.
You know, there are other options that I have no idea. That one actually, like, I feel like emotions starting to build up in my body with that one, because it seems so obvious that it should change. And like, and everyone, no, I've always heard people actually argue for it. When I bring up that specific example, people, because maybe they're doing good work, right? But then just like, no problem, just change the name.
So then you start to go, because it's a charitable organization, you know, like this looks good on a invoice of someone who's made donations. And look, please care for kids. But here's the thing, for me, I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want. I don't necessarily believe in Western medicine. It's all here. My dad said, when my grandfather went in and they told him he had cancer, it was like they took his hand and they walked him to the grave over a couple months. And this is why I started to learn about the medicine as well of cannabis, because it's cured so many people and freed them from the grasp of whatever public health. Apparently, my buddy Future Magic says Western medicine is not a helpful term, but basically I'm saying hospitals, the industrial complex that they were built on, is almost to keep you sick as opposed to allow you to thrive.
It's not a great, I've never heard people be like, oh, I love hospitals. Like, I love the energy vibration within hospitals. So I agree with that. I think it would be super beneficial for anyone who this resonates for, to first acknowledge and accept that we are programmable.
And we are powerful. So whatever you focus on, whatever you're programmed to do and focus on, you're feeding your infinite, powerful, conscious energy to that thing and expanding it. And that's what campaigners and marketing and politics know. They know about patterning. The FBI has documented things since the 50s about patterning. We know very well what we're doing. So the average population, if they want to continue to negate things that, if you ask me, is a fucking problem, like the word sick kids, that's a big fucking problem staring us in the face. We want to overlook little things like little things like that. No, it starts there. It starts with the perpetuation of our thoughts. Like, we're lucky in Canada that you can't advertise pharmaceuticals on TV. But like, holy fuck, in America, that shit's programming you if it's on. Like, you're being programmed.
It's irresponsible of us, I think, to believe that words have little impact.
Oh my God, they have all the power. You speak it into existence. And that's why you hear people say negative things about themselves. Well, enjoy the bed that you're making for yourself. Because I'm winning. I'm not going to align with you who's saying life is so hard, you suck, this. No, don't be lazy. Like, that's really hard to hear, but you gotta fucking pucker up, princess. Like, or kindly bow out and stop complaining. Don't fill this fucking ether with doubt. There's people who are trying.
And I think that, like, we're coming off of sickness, and whenever
I'm pissed. I'm in a fucking grumpy mood right now, so y'all are catching the shitty side for sure.
But also, though, we're coming off of, like, we were
no more time. No more time
exactly.
to fuck around.
Like, we don't exactly.
I'm trying to live.
That's what
No
I'm
more
trying
fucking around here.
to say is, like, we realize we're in that real gratitude for health and well-being, especially since now we're
Use it while you got it.
We're on the up.
Use it while you got it.
And so we're like, oh, there's just no time. Like, we need to do this
Stop
now. Like,
fucking
you need
around.
to do this now. I just challenged my mom to a 60-day meditation challenge and I challenge all of you to do the same, because if you sit your ass down for 5 to 10 minutes, you force yourself to do that. It's not going to feel good. You're going to make all types of excuses. You're going to come up on things that maybe you're not really ready to look at, or you think you're not ready to look at. And all of that is going to be difficult. And at the end of the 60 days, you're going to see so much benefit to your life. And then, of course, I'm just going to say there's outliers that are going to do that in, like, they're going to be pissed off the whole time. And at the end of the 60 days, they're going to be like, no, nothing has changed. So there's always going to, I don't really believe it either, but I just wanted to put that out there, because all things are
Winnie's
possible.
Pussy disclaimer. But nah, fuck you. It'll work. You do it for a week, it'll work.
Yeah, but actually commit to it for 60 days.
And how about this?
See, like, how your life changes dramatically.
I absolutely agree. Big up, Winnie. So fucking true. How about this? Challenge yourself to shut the fuck up until you've done everything you can in your power to solve it. Stop spreading the problem. When this is going off, you're sparking doubt in other people. And we're so programmed as a society to enable people to be weak because, and I'm not saying being honest and vulnerable is weak all the time. That's a huge strength, but I'm saying we're literally enabling someone to give up on themselves because it's wrong to try and strive for greatness or be bold. It's apparently wrong. I've been felt like that often. And
don't shine too bright. I think so many of us.
And I'm like,
can
well,
resonate with
I'm not for that team then. I'm not for that team. I'm gonna keep moving. So here I am on the team I found. One other person, like you know, and we still have our ups and downs, but no, it's ultimately like, don't spread the problem from your only source of power. The only thing you can control is you. Like, and I'm talking for yourself. Like, I don't hear other people put other people down that much. I think there's more internal comparativeness, and we find more reasons to feel bad about ourselves, where you know you're good. I know I'm good, but I wipe away the public need for me to be perceived as good, you know, in my ego identity's character, because I can't be attached to that, because I can't let someone thinking I'm good dictate my behavior. So, you know, you remove yourself from needing validation, but you know you're good. You know you have what it takes. Like, this is so nonsense.
And I think maybe sometimes what you don't know is that, like, you're worthy of the
work
the
it
goodness,
takes.
Of the goodness that is available to you.
Oh, yeah, of the abundance, accepting the blessing.
Yeah,
Yes.
because maybe you know you're good, you think you're a good person, you think you do good deeds. There can be victim mentality in that, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I did it for a really long time. I lived for other people because I love people. I love what we're doing here, and I thought what I was doing was really righteous.
Oh,
and
talk on it.
Well, yeah, it's just like I loved, you know, feeling important in other people's lives. I love that created so much safety for me. Like it's pretty complex and it's multi-layered, but I tricked myself into not being authentic,
Living for others instead of yourself.
in like through the lens of righteousness. Like I'm so, like I do so much for other people, and sometimes other people would do so much for me, and that felt good, but it didn't feel good when when I felt like I was being taken advantage of. And then you start, that
Give to
wheel
yourself.
can really take off. Like when you start feeling like you're being taken advantage of in the workplace, in your relationships, that is really,
Friendships.
that's hard to come out of. That's hard to
Big time.
throw yourself out of, even using the like strong tools that we have access to, like meditation, journaling, affirmations. But like,
Self-worth
I forgot
can
my
be
train of
built. I just want to give this pragmatic tool. Self-worth can be built. If you're starting from zero, and I know a lot are, you have to prove your value to yourself, not based on anyone else's perception of you. And that's hard if you're in that cycle when you was just talking about. But you never, ever, ever lose the ability to prove your value to yourself. And in the best way that will have a huge health benefit as an outcome would be to take responsibility for your physical being.
That's the,
Because
I think
it's
we
not-
think that's the most accessible way right now.
It's not
that we
even
know
working
of.
out. It's not drinking that pop because the crash is going to hurt. It's not having too much like meat, or however your body works. I don't know how your body works.
We talked
but for
about-
me, these are the things, and I'm like, well, these are subtle forms of self-abuse that I do to myself to push. And I know there's going to be a crash or a fall, but I don't believe in myself enough to see what would happen to my potential if I didn't have that anchor in those moments when I self-sabotage by doing something not favorable. And you know what they are. You know when you're not being kind to yourself on a certain level.
Yeah.
It's because you're actually scared of your potential. I got a cap out here. Even shitty things like the expectation to only save a certain amount of money and not grow. I'll just stay here. Because that's a base minimum of safety as opposed to, what would happen if I aimed higher? Or go for that job, or try that thing, or try your own business, or find love in a way that's not so fucking performative. Oh man, the homies out here dating, it just is so. What are you doing?
Can I say something before we move on to that?
Sorry.
I just wanted to
Yes.
set the example of there was a moment in my stand-up journey. So I've been doing stand-up for over a year now. And there was probably like 3 months, 3, 4, maybe even longer, maybe even like 8 months, if I'm being totally honest, where anytime I would go to perform, up until the moment they called my name on stage, I was like, you can back out. Like I
You
would
gave yourself that out. That's actually good. It's called the parachute effect.
So, and I think that's what I was doing was I was telling myself that I can if that's what I really needed. Because when you do things that are outside of your wheelhouse, your body feels like it is on fire. It is so uncomfortable. And so, like, the way that I met that energy was like, you can still back out. And now I don't want to back out. Now I want to run towards it. But it took a chunk of time with the fire body and that negotiation to feel familiar with that feeling enough that I could start getting excited about going to perform. So there's all of these moments in life in any situation, especially if you're new to something, that growth spurts occur, and that sometimes involves pain.
Oh God, I don't know a growth spurt that doesn't involve pain.
Yeah.
You got to look forward to that pain.
Yeah.
We were on the Get Some podcast last night, and we had a really good conversation. And basically, what we broke down, my core strength is, I'm so down to suck for a while.
So down. I'm
Oh.
so in awe of you for that. Like
Thank
you, that no one will ever take that away from you. Like I can't believe you'd run towards failure with enthusiasm and like hopefulness and fucking like so much like effort and creativity, and you didn't care if you fell flat. You don't care if you fall flat on your face, and you don't anymore.
Thanks,
honestly,
buddy.
you did a lot for like a long time.
Fuck, in everything.
Yeah.
In everything I've ever done. But yeah, dude, it's definitely a fearlessness. It's definitely part of feeding the pain body, the pain addiction. Breathe into it. Good. It's how my experience in high school. I was bullied until I flipped out and I hit back and dominated and became the bully. This football, learn how to fall. If you get smoked, well, fuck. Hopefully you fall on someone else from the other team. Fuck them. Like, you're just like, so I'm such a rag doll, but I'm also such a force when I get going. That my momentum's almost unstoppable. Sometimes I'll just like flash right through something, and sometimes the experience isn't even to do it right. It's just to do it. I'm like, good. And they're like, well, but you didn't do it correctly. I don't care. Like, I'm just out here moving. But like, yeah, thank you so much.
Nice. Your being
Thank
is
you.
is having like, I feel like you're like, you have the off days. We all do, but like I feel like most of the time your spirit is really here to party.
I'm here
Like,
to party.
Yeah, you want to put yourself out there. You want to dig deep into other people. You don't want any bullshit on the surface conversations. You want to feel something all the time. A lot of people don't want that. A lot of people run away from that. A lot of people use cannabis to try and myself included, numb feeling so much all the time.
Thank you for
So-
seeing me so deeply right now. That's so lovely.
Yeah, you're very special.
I love you. Yeah, no, I'm fucking ready for this, bitch. That's why sometimes my biggest flaw is impatience. So I
Yeah.
prayed for patience a couple years ago.
I remember.
Then the COVID happened. Okay, thank God. Thank Jesus. But no, but that addicted to pain, I really had to work out of as well. Because there came a point where, yeah, I wasn't doing it to hit a brick wall anymore. I was just doing it because, like, oh, this is now my function and my mode, and like I know I'm here to like raise the vibration. So whatever task is at hand, I don't care. Like I don't care. Like I'm not really here to be the best anything. Like I'm the best freestyle rapper, and that's so. You can't measure that, really. Like,
No.
what is best in that? Like, you know, like even music. It's even, like comedy's like music. It's so subjective to the person. You can't measure it. Who's the best musician of all time? Who's the best comedian? Everyone has a different answer. A lot of people have the same answer. There's a lot of people. But that's so fun. Like, I don't care. Like, we're here to just fuck around. But like, I do be taking shit seriously in my head sometimes when I get comparative, just like.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone, right? Like I'm just like, oh man, fucking, you know. It's like I don't want to be 40 and not have a Grammy, but if I'm 40 and I'm still writing songs and I'm a full-time musician and like this, but I don't have a Grammy, it's like, but okay, like whatever.
Because what
you
else?
know? But
Like-
I let those things choke me up sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
and I think
whatever.
that's just part of the human experience.
I bet I
Like,
will, though.
We like
I
today.
bet I will. I'll have a Grammy back for it.
I love that.
I
love
bet I
that
will.
for you.
I think I will.
But even so, like today, I walked away from you and said, "You're so mean," and then I went and hid in the bathroom for like 10 minutes. Like that's not mature of me at all. But in that moment, like that's what I felt. So, and I didn't have any control over my thoughts. I couldn't change the direction. So I did that.
Yeah.
And you know, we took some space and
I went for a walk.
Understood
because
that
we've been inside
the
and together.
immaturity, was real, and we
And
apologized.
It was in the perception. It wasn't in the things that were being said necessarily.
It's not true.
It was the way. What?
It's not true.
Oh yeah, the things are not true. Like the details. Like they say, devil's in the details. Okay, I know what they mean by that. It's like, that's where I get lost. That's where I get all pissed off trying to figure out the details and communicating. You're talking
Totally.
like you're talking to someone who stood in public and freestyled for 7 hours. Like, I know words so good. Trust me, the word people are telling you that we can articulate it perfectly. Don't bother. Like, it's garbage bullshit. Like, stop finding data to support your case. Shut the fuck up. Shut up and just live. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this does a bunch of stuff. I know how to work the buttons and what they're there for, but I'm not fucking pressing all of them all the time. You do what it needs to do and let it do it. Stop fucking with everything. That's what's making it so uncomfortable for you. That's what fucks me up. It pisses me off when I think about the details. Now, sometimes do we have to go micro? I'm mixing a song. I want an exact volume degree. I want a latch increase on the reverb through that bus at that time. There's absolutely time to be specific. But when you're doting on the details, it's so intense to life and it's offensive to the spirit of what's going on. Even people being extremely, now this is where you polarize the room. People being extremely punctual, where they are actually mad at others who aren't punctual in like a casual setting, that's offensive. Like, chill out. Like, grab a drink. Like, relax. Like, I know no one wants to be disrespected by being made wait, for sure. And there's definitely a whole other side to that. But generally, the details are what are going to brew stress. That's just what I'm saying. It's like, whether you're right or wrong, focusing on what should be is so intense.
Especially if
gonna
you're
rob you of joy.
Like, you're a smart person.
It's comparative.
If you know that there's not really much you can do about this like problem that you've created in your head, or
because why did you decide to focus on that?
Head,
and then
like,
they said, "Oh, because it is a problem. I didn't create it. It's just a problem. I'm observing it." And that's
so
true.
the problem.
But think about, you could have thought about margarine that day instead of that. You put it there.
Yeah, and really, you like when you first start being aware of this, it comes in the morning.
As soon as I get up, this motherfucker's like, here is what's wrong. Here is what's wrong. Here's what's wrong. You can fix it. You can fix it. You can fix it. Get up, have a coffee, and go fix it. So at least I'm at the point where I'm not so scared and plagued with anxiety that I think I can't fix it. But it's still like bing, 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 bing. Ha! Welcome to the show of being human. You are enslaved to this concept of fourth dimensional self.
Yeah, I mean, Abraham Hicks, who we follow, talks about how like it only takes 17 seconds. Like, it's not long before you start attracting another thought and another thought and another thought. So if your first couple thoughts are like, oh, fuck this, like when you get up, like that's what I've been thinking that in the mornings, because I think, oh, maybe my belly's feeling better. And then when it's not feeling better, it's very disappointing. And then it's really a lot easier to get off on, well, what else isn't feeling that good?
Oh, fuck.
That's
tough.
Totally been happening.
Yeah.
And I feel so much for people with chronic pain, because that's
the cycle
a whole
of
nother
sickness.
fucking...
That's the sickness cycle. You're convinced. And I notice, like, I'm like, okay, I can eat, but I'm hesitating to eat because I've been in that modality. But what's the number one medicine of the body? Food. I gotta fucking flush this out.
I know. We had some food today, and I'm feeling good about it.
But you can easily stay in the cycle of not doing what's right for you if you're thinking it's sick. But
and like, this can feel overwhelming. I think sometimes I forget that we've been practicing these
but also, we're young to some people. I meet some OGs, often very well.
For sure. I'm not by any means claiming that I know everything.
A good sign, often quite wealthy people.
And
I'm like, how long have you known this? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, like we've, I felt like around the same time as you, like when I found it in my 20s. I'm okay, good.
And sometimes you plateau on this journey, and I'm a little bit there right now where I'm like, I'm excited for my next revelation. Like, I'm excited for my next time that I get to grow.
And the consciousness in her is observing that as the level.
Yeah.
Her confidence to do that and to be excited.
Yeah.
Because it's always been tiptoeing with you. And now recently you've been taking up more space. Like, I even love it. Like, you're talking back to me so much. Like, it's so funny. And I'm just like, that's good. Like,
I know you're good with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not a fucking domineering person.
Are Sicilian.
Yeah, I like it. Like, if I'm gonna yell, you can yell. Like, if I'm gonna swear, you can swear. Like, I'm not like a abuse. Like, I'm not out here being like, I'm the only one. Like, good, be mad.
And
Like,
and if you're in, I would never really love to hash things out in a public place. Although before my photo shoot that we did 2 months ago, we got in a bit of a tiff, and I followed him into a bagel store, and I was like,
walked in 'cause
"You
I
want to
thought-
talk about this?"
she came in like a Latino girl in Brooklyn, just going up one side of me, down the other. Like, are you ready to do this, motherfucker?
he was
I
like, "Are
went
you gonna
into the
do this
food
in
place.
here?"
I went into the food place to escape her because I slammed the car door. So I'm like, all right, that was silly. And then so I was like hanging outside for a while, and I was like, I don't think that was right. I'm gonna go inside and collect my thoughts. And like, I was inside, and she came right in and got me so we could fight. And I was like, God damn. And I wasn't really hungry enough to get anything, but it was nice. I should have got something just because it was a nice little.
It was a nice little thing, but we went to that delicious spot afterwards. So
Oh my God, yeah, that place.
yeah, it was a lot, but it was delicious.
Yeah, chicken fried steak. Fuck,
We
good
got
stuff.
off. We
yeah.
got off. We
told
took-
you this was one, right?
Yeah.
Like, we told you. We said. We got these posters. I want to dive back into some of those concepts, but I just wanted to give my mom a shout out.
Yeah, Toronto, you're about to get posted.
Look, Discipline Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness. And that's an active QR code. If you're playing this on your YouTube, try it on your phone right now.
Ooh, cool.
Try it on your phone right now, and then we'll take you, see where it takes you, special place.
Should we take a photo with you holding it up and see if the photo works? Like if we put a photo there, because maybe it... Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, but you don't have to block it for them right now. Okay, I'm going to put that down. So, yeah, we're about to fuck up Toronto with these in a good way. God, what's been going on, Win? Yeah, we are
Well,
sick.
I had some stuff I wanted to talk about.
Please, yeah. We have, because, I mean, geez, we just rampaged our way through that.
Yeah.
But those were the general topics, but please go.
I wanted to ask you what benefits you have found and how you might encourage others to allow themselves to open up. What benefits you have found through crying and like how you've grown allowing yourself to feel in that regard, because fire is such an easy emotion for you to go to, and it is for a lot of men. And yesterday you said to me something along the lines of, you're a real good one for someone who doesn't know how to cry or doesn't want to cry, or something like that.
We were having like a many lifetime regression understanding of our spirits being able to meet and help each other in this lifetime. And that came to me through that perspective. And, oh my God, I have such a unique relationship with crying, because growing up, I would cry as a kid. I miss your mom, miss your dad, like whatever scenarios, right? But something happened in my teens where I really had to pucker up, and crying just wasn't an option. And it was just coming from all angles, and there was no time for breaking. And I sealed something up so deep that I never, past 12, I never cried. And we got together when I was 18, and I think it took we went and lived in LA. Oh, I achieved my dreams after. This is after I achieved my dream. Like, and at the time it was performing at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And I was a regular there for the time we lived in LA, and that just filled my soul with so it was like level 1 complete.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
You know, so that was my heart was, you know, so it was after that. So I must have been 21 when we lived in Vancouver, 1460, where the dam broke, I call it, is that. And yeah, I can't remember. Oh, it probably had something to do with my mom working through it with Win. But yeah, so my experience since then as using crying as a tool of expression has, oh my God, it's like it's releasing pressure in a way that's, it's almost like coming. Like it's
whoa.
Like it's almost that good afterwards, like when your glands are empty, you know, and you're just lying there like empty finally.
What
like,
did it feel like?
Emotion.
What did it feel like for you that first time in 1460 in Vancouver when we lived together? This is probably about 4 years into our relationship, and you, if you don't mind me saying, completely broke down like in my arms. Like that was the first time I had ever seen you cry, I think, and
it was the first time I cried since 12.
It was water, like it was
Holy
oceans.
shit.
It was a session. Like it was
such a
almost
crazy
like
session.
you opened the floodgates and then it was like, I don't know how to stop this.
Yeah, like something broke and I couldn't stop crying for like a long, like half an hour.
I've experienced that in acting class before.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just like real hard and in the chest, like it was just hard, and also it helps that I'm funny. Mm-hmm. So I had like little moments of like freedom in the suspension of that, the levity that comedy offers.
Yeah, you can bounce it.
And the focus of flow from doing stand-up since 16 and doing acting and drama and all those theater productions and stuff. So I had that, but I was just so tight. And when that happened, it was like so much backup from time just like came flushing through, and it was like a Goodwill Hunting it's not your fault moment. Like, you know, like where, you know, you get the hug and you just keep repeating something, and like it was like something was leaving my body. It was like a pain was being pulled through, like when you get a loogie, you know, and it's like coming from your sinus.
We all love it.
We all
Don't
love
be
those.
grossed
It's
out.
disgusting. But what do you do with it after? That's where it determines a gentleman or not. You know, and it was so foreign to me, and it resembled weakness to me. And not crying was almost a subtle promise I made to my mom to not be weak, to not tell on us, to not trespass our bond. So my strength came as a form of like a pledge. This very deep mafioso type thinking. And God, just the tough motherfuckers that I grew up with, like that would just no. So the examples I had were, you know, very polarizing in the opinion of crying. So I felt like I was actually letting go of all that as I was crying, because like, well, you can't be both. So you almost decide like, fuck it, fine, I'm gonna be a pussy for a moment. And then the dexterity that comes from your identity doing that sort of fluctuation realizes that, okay, I'm not in one ego identity, I'm in two things. So it almost split me in a great way. And then that was in the time period where I kind of stopped doing stand-up and I did photography like full-time for a couple months, which is such a random funny period in my life, but it kind of helped me start to learn to be entrepreneurial and like charge, even though it was way too little at the time. But yeah, so once that happened, it's not too much of a coincidence that I started songwriting and being expressive and emoting. And you know, like that's that's when that happened. Like you can only go so long before you have to face yourself. So that's why it's like you will reach a point. Hopefully it's before it's too late to do something with your life that is more bright and more worth more instead of staying capsized.
It's never too late.
No, but I'm saying deathbed. Like I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like it's like legit.
But
like,
if you're listening to this right now and you're
it's
like,
not
it's too late, it's never too late.
Yeah, and don't put yourself
That's such
down.
a weird.
Don't put yourself down with reasons. They say I'm too fat, I'm too old. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's a weird belief system.
You're being lazy is the only issue. That's it, period. And that's hard to swallow, but once you can accept that, it's good. Just like I accepted being a pussy by being a crybaby. So, and why do we use pussy as a term to say not strong? Because it rules the fucking world. It's why men are funny. It's why men get rich. They want inside the puss. It's what births the fucking human in the first place. It's the most powerful thing on earth.
Takes crazy amount of pounding.
It's
that's
tough,
just
isn't it?
true.
It's tough as fuck. It's the toughest thing. And it's beautiful. Okay, so yeah, and now I'm a big crybaby, and I'm down to go for a fucking public cry. I'll hold eye contact and cry in public.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but also at the same time, I realized I can be that strong, sturdy man as well, because it's like, as I'm crying, who want what? Like, fuck you. Like, I'm having a moment. And like, I'm proud of that now, that I have the ability to go there. But in the interim between like being a professional ability crier to an absolute stone, oh my God, such a slow, rigid process.
Yeah.
So many unnecessary fights that cause you to get to crying where you could have just cried and there wouldn't have been a fight.
Right. You needed, but so you were essentially
Bars!
egging yourself on
With drama in my life, creating problems.
to be able to bring on the waterworks in a way.
Because
that
if it was
felt-
dramatic and big enough for me, then it would make sense to cry. It's justifying it through your own exterior. The world's only ever playing with you. It's not doing anything you're not asking it to do. You're like, I need to cry, so I'm going to go into work and cause this type of problem and dote on it, and then later on I'll feel warranted to do that when then something else compounds and I can freak out and yell at them, and then, you know?
Yeah, totally. I kind of I'm getting over a bit, an interesting parallel relationship is when we caught norovirus last week, I was meant to do a show at OPP, and I canceled like an hour before I was supposed to show up. And that made me so uncomfortable because I'm so used to working myself to the complete bone where, like, if I need a break, it's because I've
you're dead.
passed out or, yeah, kind of.
Like, nothing acceptable but before you give it absolutely your all, and you owe everyone else that.
Yeah. So I was going through, like, when we were deciding whether or not, and obviously the right decision was not to go because...
Well, you have a fucking virus and you're going to go share mics.
Exactly. And Ellevan and I talked about like bringing our own mic and because we weren't 100% sure what was going on in our bodies. We just I knew that he had been vomiting all week and I was not feeling too hot. And so it's this idea that if we do something, like if we can't say no, you know, or we can't cry. Like, we need to validate our decisions all the time by literally being broken or creating something that is in society's world, like, acceptable for that reaction.
Well, you're coming from an idea of having a job, being a slave race. Your boss will tell you when it's time to take a break. This doctor will tell you what's going on inside of your body. You don't know what's right for you. You have to go and ask someone if it's time for you to rest. That's fucked in the head, buddy. You're fucked. Like, get unfucked. You know what I mean? Like, straight up, like, you're broken. You're broken, you need to break down more, and you need to refacilitate. And everyone comes from this mental enslavement because it serves a system that if I was building the system, I would implement the efficiency thing as well. So you can't blame the overlords either. So stop being a victim. Take control of your internal pace and live your life in actual harmony with nature.
And I can just attest as like a personal testimony that like I couldn't make decisions. Holy, I've never been a decision maker.
And that's what I say. If you lack creativity, you will be taken advantage of.
Yeah. And so to make decisions, I would ask my entire network. Let me ask everyone else what they think.
Assume
and
you're
based
wrong.
upon, their answers, I'll take an average of that and then I'll just do that. Like there was nothing ever in me that was like, hey, what do I want? What feels good in my body? Like, how can I explore this? It was always like outside. And what were we just saying?
Oh, you're making decisions?
Oh yeah, and decision making. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And if you're like, holy, I resonate with that. Like I don't make decisions either, and like you can't expect to make any type of leadership decisions if you can't say what you want for dinner. Like if you're that person that's like whatever you want, like you need to start by making just minimal, low risk decisions. That's how I started. He'd say, what do you want for dinner? And I would say, da, 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 da. And if I had to go think about it for a while, if I had to create something, but I would say it instead of just be like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I started saying like other things that I wanted and felt like I needed from our relationship or from other relationships that I had or from partnerships or business relationships.
Yes.
And so I just really want to hammer home that all of this stuff starts simply. Like you don't need to make giant changes today. You don't need to quit your job. You don't but if these things are resonating with you and you're like, oh, fuck, like maybe I'm not being as authentic as I would like to be. Maybe I would like to get more confident in myself and the choices that I'm making. And maybe I would like to, create a value system that really resonates with my heart and the way I want to live and show up in the world.
Yes.
Then start making... It's not about everyone else. Start making decisions based on your likes and your passions and what you want to create. And from there, that's the thing. You decide on a barbecue chicken pizza, and from there, you eventually, over time...
And she would get it.
Start feeling really confident in your intuitive ability to make what is right for your path and journey, and
Guide.
It's not going to align with other people. And what the great thing about that is through this practice is you're not going to care if it doesn't align with other people, because it will feel so right and true for you. But it's it takes time and practice, and it starts simply. Don't be hard on yourself, I said 60-day meditation challenge, but honestly, if you can meditate once a week, for the next 2 months, it doesn't have to be 60 days. It doesn't need to be a crazy thing. It'd be sweet if you did, because it's honestly exactly. It might be once a week for the first 4 weeks, and then you realize, hey, my meditation Mondays, I've been having great Mondays. Maybe I correlate that with
Maybe
what's
it's titillating
happening.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Wise Wednesday.
Yeah, it can
Maybe
be
it's
anything.
Thick Thursday. Yo, Win, that was a good rip.
Yeah, cool.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful.
That was so fun.
I was about to get ego attacky with it, and you just dealt with that concept in divine, beautiful, feminine nature from a beautiful first-person perspective who's gone around those things, because that's what breeds what I don't appreciate as what comes across as compliance. It's just people being like, oh, I don't know. And it's you're beat down and broken down to the point where you're like, oh, just because someone decide for me my life. And it's fuck. You don't even care. You're just, it's cute because it's you're just happy to be here. That's very cute. You're even if a slave, it's better just to be here. Yeah, true, I guess. But not for everyone, Like, so thank you for speaking in a true wise way with functional codes, how to get out of just general.
You have to commit to yourself, and like every time I said I was gonna do something, and this really my latest example is stand up, but I would say yoga or fitness would fall in this category. I'd say taking classes and investing in myself would fall in this category. Every time I said I was gonna do something and I followed through on that, my short films that I've done, just so much that maybe isn't the best product of all time, or you know, you reroute and shift halfway through, that's all good.
No, but this goes
like,
back to proving your value to yourself.
the follow through is really where you're like, oh, I can do this, and telling myself that the time was gonna go by anyways, whether or not I tried this or didn't, the time was still gonna pass. So that's always been like a nice, cool mantra with me, where I'm like, oh, I'm working on all of this paperwork that like is just like not my forte.
I know, but you're doing so good.
I'm like, the time is gonna pass anyway, so you can chip away at it. It's chipping away. Like life is chipping away. It's not all of a sudden you win the lottery, although that can happen, and I'm happy for anyone that it does, myself included.
Chip away, chip away, chip away. Chip away, chip away, chip away. Chip away, chip away, chip away. Good boy. How long I chip you. Look what a cute boy.
Is it fun? Is it fun? Are you having fun?
I'm having a great fun time.
I wonder if we should maybe lean in to something a little different.
You know what we in, and you get it from when. Some fun facts now, what is it?
It's time for a fun fact.
Nice! That's Improv 101 for your motherfucking ass, bitch.
Sugar saves limbs and lives.
What? Sugar?
While your physician may discourage consuming too much sugar in your diet, sugar actually has medicinal value. When poured in a wound, sugar granules will soak up moisture that allows bacteria to thrive. Without the bacteria, the wound heals more quickly. In some parts of the world, this procedure could save the lives of people who cannot afford antibiotics. It can also be used on infected wounds containing bacteria resistant to antibiotics.
I think that we just found the new primary usage for sugar.
So I just also, disclaimer, we don't do research here. We're not doctors, all of that stuff. Don't do this if you haven't done your own research on it.
Hey, everybody, I just decided to keep in my back pocket that I'm a doctor, by the way. Oh, I'm so glad that Winnie told them we're not doctors. Oh, man, I can sleep better now.
You know why I wanted a fun fact about sugar? Because I be hating on sugar.
Shitting on sugar?
I'm hating on sugar all the
Shitting on
time.
sugar.
And I don't think that's healthy for my relationship with it, because I just had some chocolate today, which had some organic cane sugar in it. And I had some milk chocolate, which had like refined sugar in it. So I think I need to figure out a way to feel better about sugar, but also understand that I don't want to be consuming it.
Feel good about
lot.
food, man. Food is your friend. Your body is a miracle tool that can turn matter into energy. That's absolutely incredible. That's a miracle. Work with that miracle. Stop pounding on your shit daily, though. You know what I mean? If you have like some chips, like, you know, maybe if you need, like, I fucking love chips, okay? I want to eat chips every day. I want to eat Cheetos all the time. But I can't. You can't. Make your teeth not good, make your stomach weird, make your fucking poops weird, okay? All the strange cornmeal. It's strange stuff. Don't get lost in the sauce in terms of naughtiness. And remember that food is a medicine. So eat for like medicine. Like use this like a smart thing, like for your body.
Yeah.
God, we're just out here fucking
like,
preaching the wise word. I don't know. I'm not trying to, enjoy your life as well.
It was funny
Enjoy
because
your
last
life.
night when we still like we were starting to crave
Watch those
junk
cravings.
food,
Oh my
right?
God. I still
which
want
is-
Cheetos. I'm going to
is-
get them myself because
which
I
is-
want them, but once a week. Once a week.
We haven't been craving anything. This virus like makes you not want to eat.
It takes that from under you. It takes your medicine goblet
But
away.
so last night and even a bit of today, I had this like these cravings for food, and then I would actually think about like eating them, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, yeah. So sometimes I in my head I was like, oh, I'm craving this because I want the mental taste of it. There's nothing in my body that's saying, hey, you should grab a mozzarella pizza and like eat the entirety.
Mozzarella pizza. One mozzarella, please.
But in my brain, it was like, it would be fucking awesome to taste that.
But don't you want a pizza a little bit today?
I actually really enjoyed the cucumber sandwiches that we had.
Yeah, because lately it's been like, oh, one slice of toast, I'm stuffed.
Yeah, we had a slice
And,
of
like,
toast and a tea last night.
I felt
for
like we were
dinner.
96 years old. We were both sitting on the couch. And it's like, what do you want to do in 5 minutes? Maybe a slice of plain toast and a tea. Ooh, ooh, and we'd go all excited and and put it in the oven and be like, God, I can't believe it. A whole slice of toast.
And like, obviously our brains and bodies were not working the best. So yesterday we were like, is this our life now?
Like, I hope not.
After 4 days, it was like, are we just never gonna crave?
Can I not find pleasure in food anymore?
Yeah.
And also the wisdom that we started our conversation today with was I use food in the winter time as like a source of joy. And I have been abusing it, including red meat, like in there, and like more coffee than you need and more red meat than I should feel I should have in a day. So, all right. So kind of a reset here, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, you definitely don't want anything that's not helpful to get your body back to full generative health, like until it's there, like in between when you're sick. Because it was like, do you want anything that's like gonna weigh you down? No, like only light, only liquids. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, such a strange feeling. So I hope if you get it, that this will be a nice little light at the end of the tunnel for you. We're still not completely out of the woods.
No, talking about it just then brought awareness to it,
Yeah.
and I'm feeling it now.
Because you're a little shaky because you're dehydrated. Because it takes everything out of you one way or another.
We've been flushing it down today, though. We woke up today and we were like, we're getting this thing
Parasite
out
of
us.
our fucking body. And you just got to
Yeah.
move it through food. But they're sticking their little shitty parasitical claws in the insides of your shit. So you got to flush them out.
Get out.
And we're doing that. Okay. Sometimes so you don't... I took too much paper off the end of the filter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's okay.
I'm gonna stuff it with something. That's
Oh,
so fun.
and you did another lava cake.
Yeah, but with a little bit of this diamonds in it.
Ooh, wonderful. Yeah, I didn't want to do it for the first one so we could give a proper review. I really liked it. Primo Cannabis out of Quebec.
Yeah, nice people.
Their lava
Family
cake.
operations.
Yeah,
Sweethearts.
lovely people. That tasted good to me. It burned well. I didn't actually notice too much of the harshness in the back of the throat.
No, it's just a little pang, but it was just like it could have been myrcene.
Yeah.
But
I don't
we'll
know
see
what
when
the
we
price
smoke it
point is, so I can't comment
It's
on
good
that,
weed though. I
but
definitely do fuck with
the
it.
buds were nice. It really broke up beautifully.
Yeah.
So thanks, Primo and Can Expo for
Cool
throwing
people.
that on.
Yeah, and very abundant. Thank you. Very nice, like good energy, like nice buds and all that good stuff.
Ellevan,
Yeah.
I really like talking to you.
I really like talking to you as well, Winnie
It's almost
Clark.
like we should be doing these conversations every time we get in a little spat.
Well, I know the podcast definitely helps us.
Do you think we're fighting more to keep things interesting on the podcast?
I don't think there's.
We're
any
not
incentive.
fighting a lot. But we were on the Get Some podcast last night, which won't be revealed until like later this year. But that's going to be an exciting little...
Yeah, we talked about sex. We talked about...
We've been trying to talk about sex.
Yeah, we want to bring Carlin on.
Yeah.
right? Or just like someone as well that's also like a sex thing. But yeah, you and I have been meaning to talk about sex.
Well, we tried to talk about sex on the podcast earlier on in the podcast, like but in the like first 40 episodes or something.
Yeah,
and we
sat
got
down,
real uncomfortable. And then just recently, Pummeling came out. If you've not seen,
so we
watched that
basically do
episode.
now. We do talk about sex. Our friend Michelle from the Get Some podcast said something really cool. She's like, it's impossible to have good sex without mindfulness.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so mindfulness is so part of our, it is the basis of the show.
You could say we're the gateway drug
to
to
mindfulness.
mindfulness.
Nice.
You could say that if you were trying to explain like what this podcast is.
You can form those words with your mouth, mate.
Because
so
the
you
gateway
can say
drug, it's very clever. I'm surprised more people don't comment on how clever the gateway drug to mindfulness is. Gateway drug, because
'Cause
that's
weed?
originally
Hello?
considered a bad thing.
Oh my
But we
God.
use it to become more mindful,
And-
which was considered a good thing.
And that's also like that whole tone of restructuring that subtle wink to weed, the gateway drug, because that's what people say to put weed down, right? Like, it's a gateway drug, like
Yeah.
it leads to other things. So it's like we take that and kind of like replicate it in form while considering the change of position from disciplined stoners.
That's right.
Right? So it's like it's very in line as a subtext. Also, it's so offensive when people say, "Oh, that's such an oxymoron."
I don't think it's that offensive.
I know. I'm choosing to be offended in a comedic way. And
But
so I'm not really offended,
I get
but it's
why,
like
because they're under the stigma, and
You're-
so many of us are.
when you say that, you're revealing like where you're at, basically, of just like, I listen to what the news says to me.
Honestly, it's been so wonderful for me to kind of step into this community. I fucking love this community.
fucking
first
love
of
you,
all.
mate. Fucking
And,
love
like,
you,
people
mate.
who use cannabis on a daily basis to help with their lives in any manner.
Just to be dope.
I support you, and like I understand, and
Yes.
and it's I dream about a moment in this career that we're building together where I can be like, fuck you to all of those people who told us to change the name of the podcast,
Oh my
who told
God.
me to
Oh, yeah.
to not lean into weed.
We got
It's-
the victory lap coming for you. soon.
yeah, like I know that this planet is mature enough to be okay with this plant. Like we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So I just and like I'm not really willing to change my stance on it because I'm supposed to be some fucking goody good actress that like is agreeable and goes along with everybody. Like
And virtue
it's like-
signals to do what everybody else says you should or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You're allowed to choose your own medicine. You're allowed to rewrite the rules for yourself in your life.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're here standing up saying is you can be fully functional, beautiful, professional person as well as embrace cannabis daily or as seldom as you may like. That's the basic root kind of energy
and you can
that this
also be
spiraled
like
off
a
from.
not fully functional person
Sure.
and use cannabis
to enjoy yourself
to-
on Friday night or whatever.
and also just like to get through your day as
Right.
in a more helpful
Chill
way
way.
of functioning. So
See, that's so good. I deprioritize non-productivity, but she's like, "Hey, you're still a human being that enjoys
Well,
a nice life,
did that-
whether you're fucking being productive CEO or not."
that book that I was reading on psychedelics really changed my mind around this because their argument was that cannabis, mushrooms, LSD, I don't really fuck with ecstasy, but ecstasy was in that arena as well. It has the ability to connect us to the spirit realm. And they would argue that that's what we should use it for. Because if we're all more connected to that universal energy, that's going to play such a positive role in our in the way that we live our everyday life, that like we should be using it in a way to connect deeper with like this secondary person that's inside of us. We're all connected to that. You all have this moment where you're like, oh my God, I was about to walk out on the street and then I don't know what happened, but like I just decided not to, and then a bus fucking ran right by, and if I had walked out a second earlier, like I probably wouldn't be here anymore. Like that is your other part. That is the extension of you.
That's the part.
And
you're talking right now is the other part.
Yeah.
Is the secondary part.
And a lot of people have heard this, but like we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are one part human, one part spirit, and we have the ability to really have a really awesome relationship between the two.
Yeah, with that guidance.
With the use of psychedelics. So
it definitely helps me tune into that and look for more synchronicities.
Yeah.
And allow things to just be good.
yeah.
How about not looking for problems all the time?
Yeah.
Just good. It's just good. How's your day? Fuck, really nice.
Yeah.
Smoked a joint. Enjoyed myself. Focus on what I love to do. Contributed value to the world. Gave service to someone or myself.
So fuck, this has
Gratitude.
been so fun.
Fucking nice conversation. We said that when we sat down that we were going to have a nice conversation. And look at that, it's manifested.
And now we're starting to feel better. I really think that I'm on the mend.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm going to have a burger this week. Still intense.
Yeah.
We're going to go poster.
We're going to go poster.
I love you guys. I love hanging out with you. Thank
Yeah.
you for 2K on Instagram. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, that was so cool. We were like, oh, we're at just a couple weeks ago. We were like, oh, we're going to be at 2K. We were at like 1990.
And now we're past that.
1900,
And now we're on our way to 10K. So go ahead and tell your friends.
Share with your friends.
Share with your friends. We got a Patreon. How's the Patreon going, Win? You got some affirmations going on there?
Every day you get an affirmation. Every day this year. So whatever how many days there's been this year, there's that many affirmations that you can just go through and say every day. I went live on Tumblr today and did 8 pages of affirmations out loud.
Nice.
And it was fucking sweet because most of them were like prosperity orientated and some were more specific in finances specifically. Prosperity comes in all sorts of ways, obviously, but so finances and Tumblr, you can get gifted that can eventually be exchanged into a cash value. So I did all these 8 pages and I got myself back to a place where I was climbing the ladder when I started these. I was like, I'm going to do these. Started reading them out loud and I was like, well, maybe I should live stream them. What's stopping me from doing that?
Fuck yeah.
And then I just put like positive affirmation afternoon boost or something.
Love
that's what
it.
I called it.
Love it.
And then right after I finished my affirmations,
How nice is that?
literally, the moment I finished my last affirmation, someone came into my room and they were my biggest gifter. And I was like, oh, you missed the affirmations. And they were like, sorry, I missed them. We started having conversation. They just started flowering me with gifts. So many gifts. Like one of the biggest gift days actually I've had on Tumblr.
Oh my God.
So it was so fun to be like, I just finished these prosperity affirmations.
Yes.
And then you come in.
But your affirmations, synchronistically in spirit, unlocked that prosperity coming into your life, and it came in like a floodgate.
Yeah.
So the abundance that individual had to share, you know, they were resonating with the energy that you were putting off, and your full belief just locked into place. And that's such a beautiful thing when that connection happens, because you're both playing a role in that moment. Congratulations on unlocking that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's so
That was
fun.
fun. It's nice little winks that you get where you're like, oh man, okay, like I want to keep exploring what this is, because it's surprising actually.
Every time it's like, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
what?
gifts come in surprising ways, and I really wasn't live streaming to get gifts. I think that's an important part of what happened too. I was not outcome orientated. I was actually outcome orientated because I was trying to shift my own self. And I did that through 8 pages. It was about 12 minutes of straight affirmations, and what a blessing that was, because it really helped uplift me.
Well done.
And then I got an immediate example of my vibration raising. So very cool stuff, everybody. Let's focus.
I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am peaceful, I am centered, I am confident in myself, I am blessed, I am movement, I am fluid, I am creative, I am well. I am Ellevan of the Disciplined Stoners.
I am Winnie of the Disciplined Stoners.
And we are going to have merch coming soon as well.
Oh my God, yeah.
We got the best fucking idea. We're so excited to execute it.
I'm so excited.
We didn't think we were getting the clothing game, but we just might. We got 2 other unique pieces, a book and a calendar. So I'm just dropping these heaters.
I love it.
But we're just coming through with the heat this year.
Yeah,
And then we got a
we're
very special
excited to be here.
situation that we're going to announce soon or just drop. And thank you guys. Having a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
Check out our YouTube if you're watching this on Spotify.
Hit that like button. That's helpful. Comment.
And even guys, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music or Apple Podcasts or whatever, if you would take the moment, I know it's annoying. Sometimes you gotta find the password and stuff.
Yeah, you got to sign into the Apple. Apple's
Sometimes
tough to give that review.
To ask. Well, if you're signed in, and or if it's convenient, or if you happen to find your passwords, you don't know how much it helps. It tremendously helps to boost this show in the algorithm, to suggest it. It's basically, it's being listened to by folks. Bless you for sourcing it out and finding it. Maybe you saw the poster. Maybe you're listening to this after you're walking around Toronto. You saw the poster. Maybe a friend told you about it. Maybe you know us. Regardless, thank you for listening. And if you take a minute to review it, or share it, or like it, or engage with it, or comment on it somehow in some capacity, even if this clip makes its way to Instagram, just drop in that comment. It really does. Somehow, it feels like, it shouldn't mean so much, but it does. Like, we know you love us by watching, but to help expand it a little bit, or maybe a lot, it's so helpful. So thank you so much for doing that. Love you, love you. If you want to become part of our private community on Patreon, do so. When you can tell them where to do that.
www.patreon.com/disciplined-stoners. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Anchor, you can find it in the description.
Man, good times. I'm looking forward to April 29th, Rhythm and Flow 3. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go do that now. They're easy. You can do it on Eventbrite. Super easy.
Put that in the description as well.
Yeah. And
Mendo.
And Mendo. Come on. I ripped on Mendo last time. You ripped on Mendo this time. I've been talking.
We are educators of the Mendo medical community. It is an online medical cannabis store. We find that the prices are just right, and the way in which it is delivered is fantastic, right to your mailbox. And you have access to cultivars that you don't necessarily in your province, depending on what province you're in. So, and you get a $2,000 write-off and 10% off your first order when you use the code DISCIPLINED as you're signing up. So there's lots of great reasons to do that. Again,
skipped over the $2,000 write-off annual when you become medical, which is free, which is one phone call away, but like, holy shit.
I've been telling people about it, people who I know would really appreciate it. And someone was just like, this is fantastic. My dad has just been grilling me about how much money I spend on weed. If I can tell him that I can write off $2,000 a year
for free, you could be smoking on cookies for free. This is going to be a really
great thing for me. And I love that is his motivation.
Sure.
Hey, fuck.
And also, you said the prices are just right, but for me, in terms of retail, I've never seen them lower in terms of retail. Like maybe
on most things.
Okay, cool. But that's my experience. There's
some oils and stuff that you don't buy that I would say are probably on par to market.
Okay, on par then. For some, but yeah, that's been really good. And like, what did I get? The 7 grams of apples and bananas by Cookie.
Really nice. We'll definitely get that again. And they're bringing on more stuff all the time.
All the time. Yeah, good people. So if you sign up, go to is it mendomedical.ca?
We'll put it in the description.
And as you sign up, use the code DISCIPLINED. And you can get edibles sent right to your door.
Or just DM us and we'll send you a link that already has disciplined in the registry.
Oh man, Ralph just did that little thing where he stretches and goes. It's cute. Love you too. But yeah, guys, super easy. Become medical if you like, if that suits your life, and I think it does if you enjoy cannabis. If you enjoy cannabis once a week, it's worth it. Or once a month even. It doesn't matter. Just have a little stash. Anyway, whatever.
Let us know if you have any questions. Comment below if you believe that your words are powerful. Say my words are powerful.
Or
below.
I am. Write an affirmation for yourself in the comment. That would
I
be
like
really
that
fun.
better.
Let's make that as an exercise together here.
Write an affirmation.
If you fucks with this, in the comments, go, I am whatever you are hoping to be. And that's your affirmation for the week.
And then we'll just say it out loud too, because it's always good. Whenever I see an affirmation now, I'm just saying it out loud.
Yeah.
It feels good. It's a reminder. It's an affirmation. Okay. Love you.
Love you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. So good. Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills. Well, it's helped me feel okay about my shitty social skills. It doesn't make my social skills better, but it sure does make sitting in that awkward moment in a social interaction a lot more bearable. You know, that moment where no one in the group has anything left to say, and you desperately want to yell at all of them, just say something. Being high makes that hilarious and not torture.
Yo. It's Ellevan from Anger Town. This plant just helped me chill out. Found focus. Found confidence. All of a sudden I was productive. Less protective. More progressive. Yeah, we talk about stuff like I'm a next sommelier. But this is about a medicine, baby. We wish everyone a mindful life. It's been a helpful tool for us. Whatever the route to peace, it's each individual's journey. And the more we communicate, maybe we can all help each other out. Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And that's Ralph. One day we're going to do a collage of all the times like a brilliant person just said like it's medicine.
Cannabis is a gift from Mother Earth.
Cannabis helped to heal me. Those natural medicines that we use to help to heal us. And of course they have this euphoric effect, or can.
It's an alternate natural way of healing. And I just think it's so beneficial, and there's so many good properties to weed.
I mean, that's the only difference in my life is I've added cannabis. The amount I've changed and the way our family has evolved and our relationships with my adult sons and everything, like just all through cannabis it's been amazing.
It's part of my life. Like you said, you really can't separate me and the cannabis plant. I use it medically.
Yes.
I have fibromyalgia, diagnosed with fibro very, very young, and I use cannabis to treat my fibro very effectively.
It was through an event that caused her major anxiety that I got her to take a few puffs.
Yeah.
And it helped.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, from being up here to being able to cope.
You know, we've got naturopathic medicine and natural health products that rely on hundreds of years of traditional use.
Yes.
Which, you know, both cannabis and mushroom technically fall under.
Yes. If you can keep it at that sweet spot and it's in a healthy way, I feel like that's
It's medicine.
Yeah, I think
it's medicine.
You have to check in with your life and be like,
medicinal. It felt like it complemented my personality.
Yeah.
Almost.
Good answer.
It's okay to use cannabis as their medicine. They no longer deserve to be in classrooms and hear that they're using drugs and they're bad, when this is medicine that is saving their lives.
Yes.
I mean, I would never put anything on the market that I wouldn't give to my mom or my grandfather.
Those strains are fantastic for pain management, nausea. This helps with pain management.
And I feel fantastic. Like I feel great. Do I attribute it to cannabis and cannabis oil? Absolutely, I do.
Relationship to cannabis right now is beautiful, growing, most probably everlasting.
I think this is medicine.
Dude.
120%.
I've got ADD, and I use cannabis to help kind of focus me in and kind of turn things off. Like, it very much is medicine.
It was medicinal for me. It was like taking a medicine because that's how it worked.
'Cause I can see your energy, and I'm waiting on your frequency to rise before you interact with me. Before you collab with me or try, better get up on your frequency. If you tryna see me, share the same space or breathe anywhere near where I be. If you tryna get by, then your vibe gotta rise. Yeah, I'll tell you.